Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision and I'll be discussing some of the key markets of interest right now. Now last week we were looking at the US index markets and we were looking at very bullish momentum on the markets. In fact, on the mini Dow we were looking for a retest and a break of this 18,100 level. Reason being is that would have actually put the weekly chart back into a new uptrend. It would also be putting the making new highs here on the daily, certainly sort of recent highs. We didn't get that. We can see that the market actually retraced quite significantly last week and it's back down towards the 17,500 level. Now in actual fact, here on the mini Dow future there are a couple of key levels that I'm keeping a close eye on. So we can see that for some time the market's been sort of trading between this sort of range of 18,100 and 17,400, just underneath these sort of previous lows down here. So for me, before I look for any sort of new swing positions, I'm looking for these levels to get one of these levels to get broken to decide on higher time frame trend direction. Now when we were looking at the mini Dow future last week, in actual fact we were looking at it in context with the other US indices, and the Nasdaq was telling us quite a different story. Last week the Nasdaq had broken out to this high side. It was looking extremely overextended and stretched over here from the moving averages. In fact, we're looking at a possible pullback back into these old highs. Would have been very nice, but in actual fact didn't expect it to come back this far, and the market has. So market's pulled back into 455 now. Nice key level because it's testing the previous highs on the daily chart, also back into the moving averages as well. So on this market, the monthly, weekly and daily are certainly in nice uptrends, and here on the daily, if bullish momentum comes back in and we start to get a new move higher, it will just put in a higher low on this market. So I'm coming down to the lower time frames, down here to the 4-hour chart, starting to look for evidence that we've got bullish momentum coming back into this market in this shorter term time frame, starting to turn around. Of course it may not, it may continue to the short side, and in fact we've got some previous levels of support and resistance that the market's tested a number of times before. So I'm keeping an eye on the Nasdaq to help me get some indication of direction for all of the US index markets, because they do tend to be highly correlated. So one of the other markets that we're looking at last week was platinum, and if we take a look at platinum and see what's actually happened. Platinum, last week the market had this huge move down the week before. We're looking for a possible sort of pullback to the averages and possible pullback into a sort of key number here, which is the 1000 level. In fact, we can see that the market's just done that, and if we come down to the lower time frames, come down to the 4-hour chart, we can see our 1000 level here, that the market did retrace back up to 1000. It tested that level on the nose and now it started to roll back over again. Now we have got some bullish momentum here on the indicators. It's a technique that we use in the Trader's Edge education program and that we teach in the webinar that we're going to be discussing this week, and this just sort of indicates that there's still strength in this trend. So on this 4-hour chart, by the way, so I'm looking for evidence that the market's going to sort of roll over. I'm looking for a new downtrend here on the 4-hour chart before I start to look for new shorting opportunities. If we look at the level that we have here at the moment, so around sort of 970, if the market breaks through 970 from where it is at the moment, then we've got a high, a low, a lower high. We'll also have a lower low at that point as well. So that would just give me sort of evidence that we've now started to get a new downtrend on the 4-hour chart. Now, other markets that I was looking at last week was the Kiwi dollar if we come and take a look at the Kiwi dollar, we're looking again for a pullback into the averages because the market was looking rather overextended. In fact, the market did pull back into the moving averages. We had this lovely bearish candle here on the daily chart, and the market's still sitting around there, around the 10-period moving average. So we've still got strength indicated here on the indicators. So again, what I'm starting to look for on the Kiwi dollar, if I come down here to the 4-hour chart, we've got a bit of a level through here around the sort of 655 area, just above the 655 area, where we can see we've got these previous lows. Looking for this level to get broken. If we do, then we've got a high, a low, a lower high. We'll have a lower low at this point. Again, evidence of more bearish price action potentially coming in here on this market. So again, starting to look for evidence of the market sort of rolling over here on Kiwi dollar. Now, there have been some markets that have really been moving sort of quite nicely over the past sort of few weeks, especially commodities. Oil has been one of the big movers. If we come and take a look at oil, we've been speaking about oil for a number of times here on the market commentaries. We've been talking about some of these key levels here, especially 59, which had been tested many times before. And in fact, you know, we can see over the past few weeks that the market has sold off, you know, quite nicely, and we're certainly starting to get some big moves to the short side. Now, on these time frames, the market's looking a little bit sort of overextended, but we can start to come down to lower time frames, like here on the 4-hour chart and even the 2-hour chart, looking for opportunities. On the market structure here, we've got very nice structured trend here, nice convergence with our indicators, nice downtrend. Each time the market comes back into the zone in between the 10 and the 20 period moving average, seems to find bearish momentum and looking for new opportunities to short this market or get positioned to trade this market shorter. We've got the same structure here on the 2-hour chart again. So again, just looking for opportunities as the market's coming back into the moving averages here for more shorting opportunities on crude oil, until of course the trend strengthens and this downtrend stops. So let me just tell you about the webinars that we've got running this week. If we come along to the TradeStation International website, come over to the webinars tab and then the live webinars menu over here, we'll find, if we scroll down to the bottom here, we've got the next webinar that we're running tomorrow, which is predictive technical analysis techniques. Now, in this webinar, we're going to be looking at the way that we use the MACD and the RSI and a number of other traditional indicators in untraditional ways to be able to help us to be able to predict future price action in the markets, or momentum in future price action in the markets. So if you want to join us on this webinar, come along to the website here. You can register here free of charge. It's a 1-hour webinar, and you'll then be able to be sent a link to join the webinar. It's a free of charge session to join. Now, I'd just like to remind you that through August there won't be any market commentaries and there won't be any webinars from us through August, but they will be restarting again from the 1st of September. So keep an eye on the schedule here on the TradeStation International website and join us again in September. Okay, hope you find it useful and look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now.